Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Riza 10 light mobile pendant. This is the 131158. Let's get into the size of the fixture body itself, and we're going to talk about the individual ones, not the collective ones. So that's coming in at 8.1 inches high. When we talk about all 10 together, we're talking about a diameter that's going to be 41 inches. And we do custom sizes too, so don't be afraid to ask about those kind of things. When we talk about overall height, now we're talking about the distance from the very, very bottom of the fixture, the lowest one, to the actual ceiling itself, and you're going to have a very good range on this. The standard is going to be 16 to 87.5, and remember that's the whole thing. And then the long is going to be 16 to 141.5. If you need longer than the long, so drop me a quick email, say you're looking at the 131158, and tell me exactly the length you need from the ceiling to the bottom of the fixture. We can go all the way to 2 stories without a problem. We just need to get that email from you to send through Hubbardton Forge's customs department, where it'll come back with a quote. Adds a little time and money, but we do it all the time. Okay, why don't we talk about some little details on this. So it's coming in at 29.2 pounds, so you want to tell your installer about that. The glass is going to be Hubbardton Forge's opal glass. It's a hand-blown glass, and I'll talk more about opal glass later in the video. And then this is not slope ceiling adaptable, so it's important that you know that if you are working with a slope. You cannot use this on a slope ceiling. The canopy up in the ceiling is coming in at 12.3 inches in diameter. It's about that thick. It's holding a transformer. It's going to transform your line voltage into low voltage, and that's going to come down and go into those sockets. So again, very safely coming down through the cables, which is great. The other thing about that is I want to show you more information, a lot more details about that canopy, and how we're going to do it, how we're going to start is to look at the installations instructions. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. So open that up for me. So it's going to show you a full parts list, how to put it together, which is very simple. It's also going to show you detailed drawings of that canopy, including inside the canopy and how it goes over your junction box. So there's a lot of good information there for you guys to look at. As far as the canopy goes on finishes and the rest of the fixture on finishes, you're going to notice there's a pull down menu that says choose your finish. So that choose your finish is going to encompass the decorative element, the bands, those beautiful forged bands that are going around the glass down below. It's going to be those bars that are kind of making this into a mobile. And then up above on that canopy, the bottom of it has a face plate, and that's the round flat part that's facing down in the very bottom. That's going to be part of the choose your finish. The can of the canopy, that's the part that touches the ceiling. The round part that's actually touching the ceiling is always going to be in black. And then you'll notice those cables go into what are called grippers. So you have 10 of those grippers on there, and those are always going to be in kind of a polished nickel. So the grippers work by just pushing the cable in, and they kind of lock into place. You can take your thumbnail and push in on them, and it'll release them, so you can back those out during your installation to get all those pieces down below exactly where you want them to be. And then you kind of finish everything off. So it's very user-friendly in that way. Okay, moving on, why don't we talk about what's going on inside of this as far as lamping goes and how much light you can get out of it. It's going to be using 10 G4 sockets, and G4 sockets use G4 bulbs. You're not going to be using any halogens in this. This is going to be purely an LED fixture. It's going to be using 10 G4 4-watt LEDs, and those are basically, each of those is going to be the equivalent of about a 25-watt bulb. So collectively, don't forget, you've got 10 of these, so that's going to provide a lot of light. We talk about the color of the light coming out of those bulbs. So when you're out in the world looking for these bulbs, you could go to Home Depot or Ace or any of those kind of places. However, it's quite easy to get these bulbs on Amazon.com. Not pushing Amazon on anyone, but that's where we get our bulbs because they're just so simple. You go on Amazon, you do a quick search for G4 4-watt LED. Big page is going to pop up. It's going to give you lots of things to look at, and the bulbs can look kind of different depending on how they're designed. You'll notice that too. The color of the light they're going to offer to you is going to vary quite a bit. So it's going to start off at 2700 Kelvin. That's a super yellow light. But they're also going to offer you something called daylight. So be careful when you do that, because that is not like a warm sunlight. That's going to be the bluish white overcast daylight, and that's 4000, 5000 Kelvin. You'll notice. So what we like to use in our showroom, and I talk about all the time, is warm white, soft white, and that's going to be like the light above me. This is a 3000 Kelvin warm white soft light bulb, and see how nice that looks just like it's kind of like the globe and incandescent bulb we grew up with. So that's why we like it. So very important to kind of get the color temperature of the bulb that you like, and just make sure it's dimmable, because again, you've got 10 of these. Tell your installer that you're using dimmable bulbs on this fixture. They'll need to know that to put the right dimmer on the wall for you. I want to touch base on Hubbardton Forge's opal glass for just a second. So all of Hubbardton Forge's glass to begin with is going to be hand blown. This piece is hand blown first in clear, then they're going to come in and they're going to blow another layer of white glass on the inside of this. The third step is they're going to take and they're going to sandblast the whole thing on the inside and the outside. That's going to give you this beautiful, mellow, translucent, milky piece of glass. When you look at this, and you can see the layers are actually piled up on the inside of this. Hubbardton Forge is very obsessed about details on all of their pieces, including their glass, and that's why you're here, because you're probably just as obsessed about little details as well. Let's get into metal finishes now. If you are on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over in the red tabs with the pictures in them over there. You're going to see a Finishes Help Guide tab. Open that up for me. It's going to be a video there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton Forge finishes, how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a chart just down below, so scroll down a little bit. You're going to see a chart. You can click on that chart, so you can click on dark smoke, you can click on soft gold, doesn't matter. Big page will pop up showing you lots of different things in that finish. You can go back to the chart and you'll notice there's letters A's on them, letter B's on some of those things, and that's going to be showing you this range of variants that you can expect to see on different translucent finishes, but I'll talk about all of that in the video, okay? Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. And those same red tabs, you're going to see a what's on display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus, you want to use the showroom anyway, because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.